Thank you. Wow. You know, genuinely, I've always wanted to play a rock guitar in front of a crowd of 100,000 with one of these microphones. My wife keeps telling me I need to learn to play a guitar, but at least I have the microphone. Would somebody like to move this other one to get it out of the way? As on the rock god theme, I was offered a lift down here from my lodgings, a Mustang. I thought, wow, I'm in America, a Mustang. The trouble is, this had 4 legs, not 4 wheels, so I didn't bother. Great thing about a president, you do stuff yourself, you know. There we are. Okay, do you want to just take 10 seconds just to stand up and do a YMCA and just flex a bit because we've been here for an hour and something. Yeah, most of you can spell YMCAs, but you need a little bit more practice, but it's looking good. How are you? Are you good? Okay, let's sit down. Isn't this a truly, truly amazing place to be? It's stunning. I've visited YMCAs in over 30 countries, and all of them are beautiful. But I've not been to many where I can have hotel accommodation with 14,000-foot mountains around me, but full of love. And somebody reminded me of something else about today. What's this? Happy 4th of July, all my American friends. So, my name is Peter Posner. I'm the incoming president of the World Alliance of YMCAs. Thank you very, very, very much for electing me. Your support it touches my heart. It's such a great honor, such a great honor. And I think the reality of it is only going to sink in over the next days and weeks. I am totally, fully motivated to serve you and to work hard to achieve my best for our YMCA around the whole of the world. And I'd like to add my personal thank you on all of your behalf to the excellent leadership of my friend Ken, my good friend Ken. Under his direction, together with the executive committee and, of course, the staff team, I'm sure you'll agree there's been a significant change in the relevance and the credibility of the World YMCA among its membership and also the outside world. Ken's a great man, and I'm really proud that he's consented to act as my mentor and advisor to stay on with us in the family as the immediate past president. So for that, Ken, thank you very much indeed. And I'd like also to add my personal congratulations to the outgoing executive committee. You've been through a big period of change, and you've had the courage and the resolution to achieve what you've done, and that's fantastic. I'm excited about getting to know and to work alongside the new executive, the one that's just been elected, and we honored them earlier this afternoon. The present leadership, the officers, the executive, of course, the staff team, have set high standards for us to follow. But my goodness, what a fantastic platform that we can build on to go forward from here. I'm really, really happy about that. Now, as you get to know me, and some people do, you know that I can be fairly open about myself. And I thought I'd share with you that in the run-up to this World Council, I thought that I might approve and appoint a campaign manager to help me improve the chances of my election. So I had a brief with this person, and they put together an initial package for me to consider, and I thought I'd share it with you. So if we have the first picture somewhere. I thought it was a good start, but I continued my negotiations, and within a minute or so, having just talked about how much money I was prepared to pay her, this was her response. And the next picture, please. I didn't go any further along that line. But thank you, you can take it off now. Now, some of you were here when I spoke to you before the elections, which somehow these conferences, it seems like half a lifetime ago. And I mentioned how I came from very modest backgrounds of a family who were looking for opportunity. In a strange way, I think perhaps I was a sort of early type of change agent, if I may be so bold, who was given a particular opportunity when I started as a volunteer in the YMCA, or should I say when I was volunteered into the YMCA at the age of 27, which in those days was relatively young to take on leadership positions. And here I am now representing you and the planet Earth. I mean, it's just mind-blowing, unbelievable. It almost seems unreal. But isn't creating opportunity what the YMCA is all about? So at this point, I'd like to share with you just some of my thoughts about going forward into the future. And as a starting point, I'd like to invite Reginald Crabb from Ghana, together with Karen from Togo, to sing a song that he performed to us yesterday in the devotion. And it's about subject to citizen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President-elect, Mr. President. Sorry. Let's go. I'm a youth with a dream. So I rise up, stand up, and fight for my right. If I ask support of you, don't see me a subject, but a citizen, and together we will rise. Yeah. You can take away my joy. You can take away my life. 'Cause I go there before tomorrow. Don't leave me out because I'm young. It be like say you don't understand me. It be like say you don't love me. I like to say you're candy out of mine. I want to tell you that I'm a youth with a dream. I will rise up, stand up, and fight for my right. If I ask support of you, don't see me a subject, but a citizen, and together we will rise. I'm a rise with a dream, so I will rise up, stand up, and fight for my right. If I ask support of you, don't see me a subject, but a citizen, and together we will rise. Yeah. You can take away my joy. You can take away my hope. 'Cause I go there before tomorrow. Don't leave me out because I'm young. It be like say you don't understand me. It be like say you don't love me. I like to say I can't be out of mine. I want to tell you that I'm a youth with a dream. I will rise up and stand up and fight for my right. If I ask a part of you, Don't see me a subject, but a citizen, and together we will rise. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for agreeing. Thank you for coming up. Aren't they fantastic? Beautiful voices, beautiful message. I wanted them to share their message and their song with us, partly because it's beautiful, but the wonderful Subject to Citizen program in Africa was actually the foundation of youth empowerment. It's the foundation of our youth empowerment focus, and the main focus of the Our Way strategy that we learned about and accepted yesterday. So as I thought about the transition from subject to citizen to youth empowerment, I realized that actually youth empowerment is more widespread in our YMCA than perhaps I first thought. Let me tell you a short story about a young man called Philip. Now, Philip was forced to leave home when he was 16. And for some months, he was homeless, sleeping on the street, literally on the floor. Sometimes he was lucky enough to find a floor in some friend's house. A local YMCA tried to help him, but unfortunately, he ended up in prison because he got into just too many fights. And they were fights of survival. They were not fights of aggression. But the YMCA intervened and arranged for Phil to be released. And again, he was helped by the Y. And he received some vocational training and mentoring. And now he's got a job as a trainee, as a chef. And he's living quite comfortably, very safely in his own accommodation. Why I wanted to share that with you, because it was very similar to the story that Johan shared with us in his speech about the work that Togo does in prisons. But this Philip is actually a friend of mine, and the Y is my Y, which is the other side of the planet, but it's still youth empowerment work. So my thoughts are that youth empowerment is something we do around the world in our YMCAs every day. However, we just need to do it even more to meet the increasing needs of our young people. So what needs to be done? We need strong, vibrant, relevant YMCAs full of empowered young people. That's our challenge. And we need to do it as one worldwide movement, which can be seen to be standing up for young people, wanting their voice to be heard. Have you heard that before? I think so. Standing up for young people, wanting their voice to be heard. So the new strategy doesn't ask you to stop the wonderful work that you're already doing. What it asks for is to focus on the young people, to shout out loudly that that's what you do, and to show the outside world that the many individual parts make up one beautiful movement. Mother Teresa, many of you will have heard of, she said, "I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. But together, we can do great things." So we, the YMCA, can be and do greater things by working together as one family. So, on the back of that, I'd like to invite you to accept a challenge to each and every single one of you here. I was inspired by a little book towards the end of the Bible in the New Testament called James. And in there, he says, you need faith, but above faith, you need to put it into action. And recognize the wonderful and beautiful diversity that we have within our YMCA family. I'd like to define faith as being Christian, of course. It may be another religion, but it may also be faith in the human race, faith in people, specifically faith in young people. You see, the challenge is, when you leave here in the next day or two and go home, Estes Park quickly becomes a memory. It'll be a beautiful memory, a warm memory, but it becomes a memory. What I want you to do is to be inspired by this amazing, fantastic World Council and do something different to your usual actions. But it must be in line with the Our Way strategy. And the Our Way strategy is youth empowerment. And like any challenge, there's going to be some rules. But the rules are simple. There's only 3. So accepting that we're inspired by the World Council and the beautiful young people we've seen and the inspiration and the marvelous variety of people, remembering all of that. 3 rules. First one is the safe space rule. We use YMCA values. For example, the YMCA of the Rockies, you may have seen people going around with these around their necks. They literally have their values hanging by their hearts. And those values are caring, honesty, respect, responsibility, faith. Simple. So, with my challenge, use values. I'm sure the YMCA of the Rockies would be very happy for you to use theirs. If you have your own, fantastic. Second, the transformation side. Make a decision to do something new or something different, but with youth empowerment in mind. It can be anything. But all I ask about this is to do something between now and the end of the year. So you've got plenty of time, but do something. Please don't think it's too difficult to achieve and therefore it gets put aside, as this will stop you from having a go. It doesn't have to be complicated. It could be, for example, to finally get that young person onto a committee or a board of management. It could be getting somebody to have some work experience. It could be saying yes to a program that might be a bit of a financial risk, but you just know that it's going to be a massive impact on the lives of young people. Or it could be just saying well done to somebody, especially a young person. But please do something. So the first rule is values. The second rule is do something. And the impact, third rule, when you've taken the action, tell somebody you've done it. But tell somebody who hasn't been here so that they can be inspired by what you've done and what you've learnt here. Spread the good news. Values, do something, tell somebody. Just think, if you decide to accept the challenge, and just let's say 1,000 people do something, that's going to be 1,000 actions this year that may otherwise not have happened. And if you just do one action per year between now and the next World Council, do you know what? That could amount to, let's say, 5,000. And if you tell somebody about your actions and it inspires them to do something, who knows how many actions could take place just because you did something different once. And all of those little bits can make a massive change. So, how does that sound? Is it something you might consider? What do you say? Yes? Well, Please remember that. I'm not asking you to change the world, but if you are a chief executive of a major YMCA somewhere, please have a go at changing the world. But saying thank you and giving some good words to people at the other end, that will be remembered in 20 years' time. And I promise you, it will. So, dear friends, you'll be relieved to know it's time for me to close. You've been very, very kind to me in the way that you've accepted me. And you've welcomed me. And in return, I promise I shall work hard. I shall do my best. I shall work on your behalf within the YMCA with the idea that we make the YMCA an even better place than it is now. So thank you very much indeed.